Hello, welcome back to Deconstructing with Dawn. I just finished my IPSY 2018 unbagging and mentioned that I would have an update for you guys. So here it is. It's kind of a health update, a life update, just life in general basically, and an ancestry update. So first off, I know I've shared with you guys a million times that I'm not well health-wise, and it's like taking a turn for the worse. It's comical. It is, I don't even know, like, just basically in 2001 I had open heart surgery because I had a TIA, which is a mini stroke, and they found that I had a hole in my heart, probably from a birth defect. It's called the ASD, PFO ASD. If you're familiar, that's what it is basically. And I had it fixed 17 years ago. And every year I have to have this test done where they stick a camera down your throat like they would to check your stomach, but it goes to your heart. And they check it to make sure that the patches are the sewed, the holes are staying closed. They did not patch my heart because I ended up with 7 holes, not 1, but 7. And so they sewed it because there was too many to patch. Anyway, every year I have this test done until I got to Kaiser, who is the worst insurance company, the worst doctors, the worst everything you could possibly imagine. And don't try to convince me otherwise. They may have been wonderful for you. I don't care. That's great for you. For me, they're killing me, okay? I hate them. My daughter adores them. That's why we switched over to them, and she's now realizing that they're going to kill her mother. So anyhow, I hate them. There's nothing you can say about that. So I'm glad they're good for you, but for me, they're horrible. Anyway, for 2 years that we've had Kaiser, they have not done this test. They refuse to do it because it's too costly. My other insurance company, which we paid less for every month, did it without a problem. The heart surgeon that fixed the holes in my heart said it had to be done every year to make sure the holes stayed closed. So every year I've been asking for it. They deny it. They won't do anything. Everything's fine. Don't worry about it. Well, this last time I went to her in October, I've had 2 heart attacks since I've been diagnosed with Graves' disease, because your heart gets tachycardia and you basically have Graves-induced heart attack, where your heart is just beating so dang hard that you just stop and it like has to take a break, and it's just like beating again, and then all that interruption of your electrical, I end up having a heart attack twice. So I'm just terribly concerned about it happening again. And if it happens again, when am I going to die from it, you know? So she finally decided to do a 30-day heart monitor. My heart stopped 4 times during that 30-day time. Still didn't really care about it. I wasn't going to do a thing about it. And so I'm like, okay, well, what about making sure the holes are still closed? Wasn't going to do anything about it. She decided, okay, I'll do an echocardiogram. And I'm like, well, there's also a bubble study. You need to do that. So this bubble study basically is the cheap version of the expensive version, where they inject you with saline bubbles that if they cross over from one side of the heart and back, it means the holes are open, or that's backwashing basically. And she finally agreed to that. We get it done, do the echo with this bubble study. And as the tech's doing it, there's a doctor that has to monitor it happening. I hear her say a couple got through, and I'm like, oh God. So right then and there, I knew 1 to 7 of the holes have opened back up. So if they would have done that thing that I asked for every year, we would have known much sooner. And I've had some severe brain fog, is what I keep calling it, where I lose my words and memory, and just really bad, really severe. And to where I'm like a robot. I'll start talking, all of a sudden go, like forget what I'm talking about, all of it. And so my daughter thinks I've already had a stroke. She's does cardio neuro, so she knows this kind of stuff, right? And so basically they call me and say that, yeah, that there's holes, that the heart stopped 4 times, blah 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 blah. And so now they need to do that test that I keep asking for. Imagine that. So she wanted to do it this week, and I said no, after Christmas. So the day after Christmas, I have to go in, and you get sedated, which I fight sedation really bad. And they stick a tube down your throat and check out the heart. They're gonna have to find out how big the hole or holes are, because at this point we don't know if it's 1, 7, we don't know, or the size. And then she has to submit it to a different Kaiser because she's not a heart surgeon. So that's a big fat waste of time. And so the heart surgeons are out of Los Angeles, and I'll have to have a game plan. I'm assuming it's open heart surgery again. Fun times. Plus I have a bad valve, which is very common. Mitral valve is extremely common to be bad. I've had it bad since for 24 years. So it's about time to replace anyway. So just kill two birds with one stone. Let's hopefully not kill me in the process. Meanwhile, I shared with you guys last year, I had a mass removed from my left abdomen. It was an ovary that had a cyst on it and a tumor and a fallopian tube. They removed it. Within 4 days, I got an infection. I don't know if it's from their dirty ass tools, from their gross hospital, or what it was, but I got an internal infection, had to be hospitalized for 5 days. And the infection has never gone away. The pain has never gone away. They've done a couple ultrasounds and it showed that there was nothing in there. Well, sure enough, they did the CT because I was having to be followed up for the lymphoma that I've had. And they found an egg, like a size of, not an egg like a or an ovarian egg, but you know, a chicken egg, 6 centimeter egg sized tumor inside of me. And I've been having such extreme pain that I was using a recumbent bike. I can't even lift my leg anymore to pedal the bike. It's that painful. And pain means good. Pain is good because no pain is usually a bad type of cancer. So a few days ago, I had to undergo a biopsy. Mind you, they weren't going to do anything about that either. They called me and said, oh, fantastic news. We didn't find any new lymphoma. Thank you so much, but you forgot to tell me about the mass that's inside of me. And so I found the results, because I always get the results of every single test I've ever had, and I had to file a complaint against them because they weren't going to do a damn thing about a 6 centimeter mass inside of me. So I filed the complaint. The oncologist was like, uh-oh. So he got on it right away, ordered this biopsy. I had it done a few days ago, and let me tell you, I've had like 30 surgeries. A biopsy hurts. They're supposed to sedate you, but I just can't be sedated. Like they kept giving me Versed after Versed after Versed, and it was not working. So it hurt really bad. It still hurts really bad. Not only does that area hurt in general, but now it hurts because I have a hole where they punctured, 3 biopsies out of me, and it's just been fun stuff. Anyhow, so I have to wait till tomorrow. I did go and get the pathology reports because on Sunday, the oncologist made an appointment for me to come in on Wednesday, but didn't tell me anything. He just made this appointment without asking me. So on Monday, I went and got the pathology reports. It is not malignant. It is benign. It is a benign giant cell mass, which is kind of rare. In that normally giant cell mass is attached to bones, and this is not. It's a free-floating mass. So I'm sure he's going to call tomorrow and say, good news, everything's just fine, it's benign, but I want it out of me, and I don't care what he says. I want this thing out of me once and for all. And I know I'm going to have to fight for that. And why should I have to fight to get a mass removed from me that they caused? Anyway, I'm so worked up about this stuff. Nose, I've been waiting. I told you guys I have to have foot surgery. I have a tumor on the bottom of my foot that they said was scar tissue and was actually a tumor. I've been waiting since October to get that removed. I've been waiting since October to get my nose fixed. They just called this morning to make that happen for February 19th. I have had, Facebook memories, how it tells you what you've had, like your memories and stuff. I've had a sinus infection almost consistently for 9 years. And a couple years ago when my nose collapsed, it made it even worse because I can't get the bacteria out of my nose. And so they've known this. They have put me off left and right. There's nothing wrong with your nose. There's nothing wrong with your sinuses. I just get this infection constantly. And all it needed to be done was that I needed to have my valves replaced basically in my nose. It has just been one thing after another. They want to do the very minimal, and we're not on Obamacare. Like the doctors there have told me the reason why their care has gone down is because they have the Obamacare patients, and that everybody deserves health insurance in the United States. Everybody does, but not at the degradation of everybody else. Like if you are having to have 1,000 more patients in your office, well, then they need to step up their game and hire more doctors. And it's not fair to everybody, whether you have Obamacare or you pay $1,600 a month for your insurance. It's not fair. We all deserve the same amount of insurance of our insurance, and it's not cool. And they blame Obamacare, and that's why they don't have parking anymore, because there's so many more patients. Okay, whatever. Blame it on whatever you want to do. But the fact of the matter is you want to cut corners. You don't want to take care of your patients. And they're going to kill me. And I'm so fed up with it. So that's why I'm all fired up. Second reason, let's see, I wanted to share with you guys is I've been obviously very quiet on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube because of, you know, what happened on Instagram when somebody was able to get through that I didn't want knowing anything about me. And I just have been very reserved. I don't want to share with anybody. On Facebook, I've kind of like made all my medical stuff private. Every once in a while I get through to where I'll post something, and I post on Facebook my medical stuff as soon as I get out of the doctor's or as soon as I talk to the doctor, so I can look back and remember what they said, because I have such bad memory problem. And so I'll make it private, or to where it's only me that can see it, but a few times it's gotten through to where other people can see what's going on. So I don't even want anybody on Facebook knowing what's happening. Plus everybody gets all, you know, we just want positivity on Facebook. Well, you know what? Life isn't always positive. It kind of sucks sometimes. And I'm going through a whole lot right now. And I can't depend on my friends and family to be encouraging, because they just want positivity in life. You know, it's Christmas time, love and joy and peacefulness. But right now I'm going through probably the worst time in my life. And nobody cares. It's not that nobody cares, it's nobody wants to hear about it. And it's because it's gone on for 20 years. Every day it's something with me, and I try not to share it with everybody, but when I do, it's like in these big clumps, and they're just like, oh, I don't understand it, I can't handle it, I don't figure it out, oh, get away, I don't want to talk about it, and I'm just sick of it. So I've basically made a New Year's resolution that I am going to be so introverted, they're not going to know anything about me at all anymore. It kind of protects me. I don't have to share with anybody. I don't have to put myself out there. I don't have to have anybody worried about me. Like I had one friend tell me the other day, oh, I didn't comment on anything that you posted on Facebook because I was just too upset about it. What the hell was that? Really? I could use your support because I've been extremely supportive of you in all that you've ever gone through. But yet when I need support, they just kind of like turn it into where, oh, what was me? I'm so upset about you. What was that? I mean, I don't even understand. So that's that. I am angry. I'm just having a really bad time. I'm scared and I'm pissed off. So I'm sharing that with you guys now because I've kept my mouth shut for the past month. I don't think I've shared anything since the Ipsy bag, and it's because I don't want anybody knowing about it, but here I am telling you all about it. Here's probably what you're here for, the ancestry update. I had mentioned before that I found 2 of my brothers. I'd also been in contact with their mother. I've talked to her, I think 4 or 5 times now, and we had these really good conversations. And then I swear to God, she like turns around and it seems like she's backbiting me. This is only between you and I, right? And then she turns around and tells everybody else about it, and I find out about it. Vice versa, if we've had a conversation, I will tell my aunt that we've talked, and that's all I'll say is that we've talked. And then she thinks that I went and talked bad about her to my aunt. And I didn't. All I will say is that I talked to her tonight or today or whatever. But it seems like there's some just continual miscommunications. I still can't talk to my brothers. They're 35 and 29, or 28 and 35 now. Still can't talk to them. But she wants to know everything about all the stuff I found out. She wants to know everything I found out about my father. She wants to know everything I found out about my brothers. She wants to know everything I found out about her, how I found her, how I found this, how I have related to these people, how did I work on this DNA thing? Is it public information? All this kind of thing. She also thinks that I'm some sort of computer mastermind or something because she said something to my aunt about how somebody's records were gotten into. I don't know how to do that. I can barely post on Facebook. I can barely remember to make it just to me, okay? I'm not a computer genius, okay? So, as you guys have noticed, I'm very minimal when it comes to, you know, no graphics on my videos because I don't know what I'm doing. But apparently I'm some sort of computer genius that can hack into the government or something. I don't know. So I'm just kind of like irritated with that. It got to me last week that this is about me. And anybody, I don't know if anybody else has gone through this. Some of you mentioned that you have. But how come is it everybody else's business? Like, how come... Like, this happened to me. I am the bastard child of 2 crazy people that somehow got together. I didn't know about it for 45 years, and yet somehow this is revolving around everybody else. Like, why is that? This is my life. I'm the one that found this. Nobody would know any of this stuff happened, but yet everybody is making it about them, and that is just... It's really bothering me now. It really is. That everybody's kind of like taking it for themselves and not caring that this is my life. For 2 years, my life has been turned upside down. A lot of you have said, well, you're still the same person. Yeah, I'm still me. I'm still who I am, but I am half of somebody else now. And whether that makes sense to anybody else is not my problem, because it is how I feel. I feel half of me has changed. And that's because genetically I know, and what if I never would have known? It would have made no difference, right? And it wouldn't have, but I do know. And that makes a huge, huge change in my life. We went to Thanksgiving and with family, and I haven't had a Thanksgiving with family in, God, like since 20 years probably. Like, I can visibly remember and cognitively remember the last Thanksgiving was 1994. So 24 years ago, that was the last Thanksgiving I had with family. So that alone is a huge thing. Went to my uncle's house, was amazing, and they were welcoming. And I get so worked up and I get so sick and so nervous about it. And the second my foot crosses that threshold, it's gone. It is so weird. It's like your blood calls, somehow these people are your people. It is so bizarre. But then Christmas comes around, not even a month later, we meet for Christmas last Sunday, and there was 60 some people at this house. Names I knew because I'm so involved in my genealogy and my tree and building it and stuff, that I knew these people's names, and then now I get to see them. And I just meshed so well with like 4 or 5 of them. We're just like standing up in this corner and just chit-chatting, and it was amazing. Like, I can't, to be around a family again. Like, even Christmas, we have not had a family Christmas probably in the same amount of time, probably 24 years. It's just us 5, and then our 2 son-in-laws now, 7 of us. That's it. It's always been 7 of us for 24 years. And so to have 60 some people, which was only 2 parts of the 6 brothers and sisters, it was crazy. Okay, it was just crazy. And instantly, oh, the cat just got down, sorry. It's like earthquake. And I already forgot what I was to say. Anyhow, something about Christmas. I don't know what I was saying. Anyhow, it was great. Whatever it was Christmas, it was great. Anyhow, I don't even know where I was going, but okay, so here's wrapping it up. On the third part of this, I think I'm on the third part. I don't even know where I'm at anymore. Okay, so the third part. I still haven't met my other 2 brothers. I know them. I talked to their mother. I don't know if I'm ever going to meet them. I wrote that one. The one read it, but never responded, hasn't friended me, whatever. So that mother had mentioned a name to me that somebody else had mentioned before, and I tried to play that out once before, and I couldn't find them. So she mentioned this name again, so I worked it out backwards. And on that one brother that I've actually met and shared a picture of, on his 35th birthday, I found my other 3 brothers. I had been told once before, and I can't remember by the aunt or by their mother, that one of the brothers had died. So I only found 2 of them on Facebook, but I found the records for all 3 of them, right? And so I wrote a letter to 2 of them that I did find on Facebook. Just in case it wasn't them, I gave them facts, gave them a picture, told them everything that I knew, and then waited for the response. The next day I got a response from the oldest one. All 3 of them are alive. The reason why I couldn't find the other third is because he works for the government and can't have a Facebook. They are all 3 alive, and he shared pictures with me. He shared the stories with me. He filled in blanks with me. But I had to share with him that his name doesn't exist. The name that he has is an alias. It was like, it's like if I were to tell you, your name is John Doe, and I'm sorry, John Doe, but your actual name is Fred Smith. And what? I'm John Doe. My birth certificate says John Doe, but no, John Doe doesn't exist. Your name is Fred Smith. That's what you're. Can you imagine? So not only is my life been crazy for 2 years, I just told 3 brothers that their last name doesn't exist. Who they thought was their father is not that named person. It was just crazy. But this brother, every time we talk, says sister that he always knew I would exist because he knew there was more to the story of our father, that he always knew I would come around. And it wasn't that he knew I was a male or a female, he just knew he would always find more siblings. He knew about one of the other two little brothers. He knew about one of them, he didn't know about the other one. And so he went from just being one of 3 boys to being one of 6 kids, you know? And so now I've kind of like interrupted, he's getting his PhD in macro, oh God, I don't know. He did genealogies, genomes. Isn't that crazy? Like all this genetic kind of stuff I've been working with, that's what he did. And he's getting his PhD in it. So I can't remember the word, nanotechnology, I think, but he was interning at the genome place where 23andMe and all the retail places do their whatever. He worked there. I mean, that's like crazy, right? So he understands all this stuff. It's just so refreshing. He's so accepting and he's local. He lives 2.5 hours from me. 2 of my brothers live 2.5 hours from me. One lives in the same state that my original biofather lives in. So I've been there a million times to see my, not a million times, 10 times to see who I thought was my biofather, and that's where he lives. So I know where he lives, and then 2 are local. So pending all these surgeries and stuff, in the next couple weeks, I'm gonna go see 2 of my older 3 brothers. I am the oldest by 5 years, or 6 years. I'm 6 years older from their oldest. And I don't know, I talked to him again the other day and he told me, you know, sis, don't worry about it. You know, you're gonna be okay. You know, don't worry about what the doctors say. You're gonna be okay. You're strong. And I mean, my own friends aren't even telling me that. And my new brother is. So they're so well adjusted, and unlike the other 2 younger ones, they're just so confident in themselves. Their mother died young, just like my mother. Since he was 23, I was 32, but he was 23 when his mom died. I was 32, and so you know they were raised by, they weren't raised, but their grandma and grandpa were largely involved in their raising, where my grandma and aunt were largely involved in my raising, and very similar in that. And I don't know, I just love them. I've never met them, and I love them. And I love them this whole time. All these 2 years of searching for them, because I knew they existed. And I told them how much I looked for them, and I love them without even knowing them. And now I know them, and they fulfill more than I ever expected. So I can't wait to actually physically meet them, because they're amazing. And maybe I'll ever, I don't know. It's so weird that I'm so close and talking constantly with the other 2's mother, but I'll probably never meet them. Isn't that just so stupid? And it's because people are so selfish. This has nothing to do with anybody but me and those 5 guys. We are the connection to each other, but yet everybody has their fingers in the pot. And so I'm so glad and so thankful that these 3 older ones don't have any of that influence. They don't have any of our father's family. They don't know them. He said that they were willing to meet with them, so that was good. So, you know, he's open to meeting with them and learning about his family and that kind of thing. But they're so well-rounded and so amazing, and I cannot tell you enough how, when I found them that night, that next day when he responded to me, I had this visualization of these puzzle pieces just coming together. And even though I'm still unsure about the final 2 knowing them, but knowing these 3 that I obsessed over so much, it just made this puzzle come together. It fit so perfectly, and I'm so thankful for that. And so even though this has been probably the worst year of my life, it has been ending, even though it's bad medically, it's ending very, very good. And so I wanted to share that with you guys and be a crybaby as usual. So thank you guys so much for watching, for all the support for the past couple years. I told you guys that once I found out I would let you know, and it's been like 3 weeks now, and I needed to absorb it and figure it out and make sure it was headed in the right place. And I wanted to share that with you, that it is finally, the puzzle has come together, and I will share with you the next time being with them, I hope. Because one of them does work for the military or the government, I probably can't share pictures with you of them, but I'll let you know how the meeting goes. And thank you guys. The comments that you guys even that 2-year-old video that I posted, the continual comments that I get on that are so supportive, that every time I read one of those things, for all what I'm lacking in my real life from my friends and family, the comments that you guys give and support that I get from you guys feels that, and that's wrong. And that, you know, real life people should be more supportive than people on the internet, but sometimes that's how life works. So thank each and every one of you. I wish you all a Merry Christmas. If you celebrated Hanukkah, happy belated Hanukkah, happy Kwanzaa, joyous Kwanzaa, you know, everything that you celebrate, happiness to you, and let's all make 2019 the best year ever, no matter how it starts. Thank you guys so much for watching. Love to you all.